Namato Ratanatayasa. So as usual, we are here to practice meditation. So this is ongoing meditation session, and I will be just guiding meditation, and all needed is you diligently and trustworthy to yourself in your practice, because I don't see you whether you are practicing it or not. So needs a trustworthy and also the time for the practice. You're dedicating yourself in this moment of the practice. So yesterday I led you to practice to find the home base, just to find a place that we can safely take a refuge and a rest. Now, once you have found and make a familiarized with the primary object, then that will be your home base and you will be working with that. But having said that, that is not the only object that you can use for the cultivation of mind. But if you are just a beginners, then I would encourage you to work with one object for some times until you become familiar with it. And the reason behind working with the primary object is that you will be able to know your thoughts, your feelings, by having a foundation that you are standing on. Otherwise, we will be just messing around, jumping from one tree to another, like a monkey, jumping from one object to another and unable to know what really are we doing in the practice of a meditation. And also, it's not letting the mind wander and try to find something in order to make ourselves peace and make ourselves comfortable. It is a time to train our mind so we can know that how many things going on. Yeah? So make sure that you have chosen your primary object and working with the primary object and making that as the home base. When you are working with your primary object or a home base, it's very easy to see or observe our mental state or even the feelings, because we have a foundation to stand on. When we are standing on one foundation, we will be able to see which one is wrong and which one is right, or which way we should develop and which way we should eliminate or decrease. Last night talk, I also mentioned about uncontrolled desire and controlled desire, and that we can develop through the practice of a meditation once we have got the foundation to work on. So uncontrolled desire is basically driven by our greed and hatred, a quick temper and quick to fight, no fear of conflict. Whenever we hear something, whenever we see something which is against our wish or against our thoughts, then we quickly go on to the fight. Whereas if we are controlling our desires, then basically we know that this is happening and we have controlled the horses. The practice of a meditation is to take control over our own uncontrolled mind or uncontrolled desires that we have. And the very moment when we are in control of our own desires, own thoughts, own minds, then gradually we will be knowing ourselves, who we really are and why we are here. So tonight, you may practice to know your own thought processes and how it is affecting your daily life, and how calm you become after the meditation, and checking your progress by simply observing the primary object or working with your primary object, and how much you can maintain your awareness or being mindful of your own object of a meditation. And during this time, even checking your own mindset, that whether you can control your senses to maintain your motivation to practice continuously or not. Whenever there is a desire to move on, stop watching or practicing meditation, want to do this or want to do that, can you stop doing? But rather than doing it, watching that thought wanting to do, and remain calm and remain in the same position that you are in now, and which is sitting comfortably, sitting upright, less distraction, being aware of a present moment awareness. So maintaining the stillness, not moving your hands or not moving your legs, or not going to do something else, but you force yourself to maintain in this foundation ground, sitting here and now. And this is how we train. Some people said in that practice of a meditation, we shouldn't be too much torturing us. We should be just relax and do whatever we want to do. And it is not the way we practice. If we are just following whatever we want to do, and that is basically feeding our desire, and we haven't controlled our desires. Whereas practice of a meditation is to control our desire and uprooting the desires that subconsciously saved in our consciousness. So in order to see that subconsciously saved those defilements or latent defilements, we need to torture this mind when it wants to stand up during this half an hour time, not standing up. When you want to move your hands, not moving. And see if you are not doing, what are the reactions mind does. In that moment you can see that your thirst, or your desire to move your hands, or you move, doing something else. At that moment, watching the mindset, your mental state, that you want to do something, but you're not doing. You're simply watching. And sometimes you may name it. It's like when you're breathing in and breathing out, you're saying to yourself consciously that I am breathing in or breathing in. Similarly, you can name them when there are these mental states taking place. And if you're feeling that your mind is very restless, unable to watch or unable to be mindful of things, then you can go back to practice the scanning process that we have practiced in the past. So scanning entire body, going through each and every part, whether you are scanning the 7 parts of the body parts, or you can do the body scan from top to bottom, going through each and every part and aware of that, aware of sensations that is taking place throughout the body, and gradually narrowing down and find the object where you can take a refuge. So breathing in and breathing out, or working with your primary object, rising, falling. And making a motivation not to move, but watch the mental state as it takes place, as it happens, and relax. Do not hold on to it, or do not resist on it. So whatever mental state you are observing, simply accepting, observing, noting, and let it go. Or simply watching this mental state, and able to name it, if that's an anger, if that's the jealousy, upset. And let it be. Being mindful of your desire to move your hands, move your legs, or if you're closing your eyes, then there is desire to open your eyes to see what's going on, how long you have been meditating, and so and so. So restraining yourself not to move your hands, nor opening your eyes to see the time, and not moving your legs. See what happens in your mind when you're not moving them. So you're taking control over your desire. And see what happens. So keeping our organs, all the hands and eyes or our body staying still is simply molding ourselves to purify our mind. It's like squeezing a lemon to get the lemon juice, the essence of it. You're squeezing the honeycomb to get the honey out of it. It's like a sponge. When our mind is untrained, we absorb so much. We absorb things that we see, and we hear something that we hear. And if we like it, or pleasurable, we just save it. Unpleasurable, we also save it, hoping to let it go. And this form becomes so heavier and heavier. And that is the root cause of other troubles, stress and anxiety. So practice of a meditation is squeezing it by not moving, molting it, and you squeeze out. And that's how the form becomes the lighter and brighter. So does our mind too. At first we are staying still and watching and not letting the desire to take control and moving our hands or our legs, squeezing the essence of it. And any burdens or anything that is bothering us, it's like a foam that we squeeze the water out, emptying the mind. Now we will do the practice of loving kindness. So relax yourself and bring your attention to the sensations of the body. And observing any tensions around the body and let them relax. And bring your attention to your hands and your heart, and generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. May I be well and happy. Similarly, bring your attention to share the loving kindness of yourself and then to others. Whatever beings there are, may they be happy, at peace and free from suffering. And slowly bring your attention to the body. And as you hear the gong slowly coming out from meditation, let's pay respect to the Buddha. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivadimi Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Subhadivano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami.